this is not all of them, but they're the ones that I don't know, that I'm repeatedly glad that I have in my collection. So I think all of these are movies. Yeah, except for maybe one. But I'll start off with these. I have volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the best of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. They're all movies with these two funny men right here. Now, I'm in my 20s, okay, but I grew up watching older TVs and movies, because growing up I did not have cable or anything like that, no streaming, until I was in my late teens, and we didn't really have money to be like going and seeing movies and things like that. So a lot of what I saw came on the local channels that we were able to get without being paid for, if that makes sense. So a lot of it was older stuff, like MASH, I Love Lucy, the Dick Van Dyke Show. There's a lot more I know, but I'm kind of blanking. Anyways, I like older stuff that, black and white. I think probably all of these movies are in black and white, and there's 8 on every single one, except for this last one. So, and these movies not only have Abbott and Costello in them, but they also have a lot of big names for the time in there. So, excuse me, I forget what I was saying. But anyways, this is volume 1. It starts in 1940, and then there's 4 from 41, 42, and then these go into 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. We go all the way to when? Let me see. So there's Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, 1955. And then after that, I'm not sure. I haven't watched up to this point yet, but there's something from 1965, The World of Abbott and Costello. 94, Abbott and Costello Meet Jerry Seinfeld. 2000, Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters. I have not seen from that is something completely different. And that is one of my favorite anime manga series, even though there's only one season. Yeah, I think I was saying that there's only one season of it, which is a shame because it's very good. There we go. So there's 3 discs. But yeah, I really wish it would have gotten picked up. I feel like at this point though, if somebody picked up Ouran High School Host Club to make it an anime, it would feel too different. I don't know. But I very much like the humor in this series. I think the manga is very well written, and yeah, it's just a shame. So you got Ari, Tamaki, I think I said Tamaki, Mori, Kyoya, Iguru and Karu, the twins, and Honey, or Mitsuki. This is a very old copy. I've had it since forever, this next one. And it's one of my favorite movies. I've been obsessed with it since I was, I don't know. It says 2007 on it. So, oh my gosh, it was before I was a teenager. And that is P.S. I Love You with Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler. It is a very sad and very funny movie. And I don't know, I quite enjoy it. I think one of the big things for me about it when I first saw it was that he's supposed to be Irish in it, and they meet in Ireland. And for me, I've always wanted to go to Ireland because I mean, that's part of where my family comes from. And I just want to see it. I think if I'm remembering correctly, the Irish and French ancestry I have are more recent than anything else. And like I'm talking like the town I live in right now, one of these streets is named after one of my relatives. I'm not gonna say what he was because I can't remember, but it's like a grandfather up the line, and it's only a few generations. But he came over here from France, and I know that he made a name for himself. And I know it was around the same time, but it's my other side of my family. They're Irish, and they came around the same time that my French grandfather of some great degree came over. And this is another old copy. Actually, I haven't been showing the insides of these. I apologize, I know it's some of my favorite things about physical media is how everything looks and the things that come with it. So yes, as I was saying, this is another old copy, but this is, I don't know, I would say it's definitely one of my top favorite movies. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, because I don't think I could ever pick a favorite, but it's definitely up there. I could watch this over and over again and not be bothered. I love the disc. It's such a nice, pretty green. But yeah, I love Pride and Prejudice. I have a million copies of the book. I love Keira Knightley. And I feel like, I don't know if you say his name, McFadden or McFadden. Yeah, I think it's Faden. I'm not sure. He is by far my favorite Mr. Darcy. I think he's absolutely perfect for showcasing the awkwardness of Mr. Darcy that seeps through the cracks in his facade, you know? This next one is new, and like, I mean, I got this probably last week, and I haven't even watched it yet. I just wanted to show it, and that is the Dracula, A Love Tale. Dracula is Caleb Landry Jones, and who is Zoe Blue, I think is how you say her name, but it's got Christoph Waltz in it, which is a very well-known name. I have been excited to watch this for forever. It just kind of sucked for me because my local theater only showed it for 6 days and I couldn't get to see it. I'm bumping everything, oh my goodness. I'm holding it as far away from the mic as I can to open and close these. But yeah, I'm super excited to watch it. The next one is Bram Stoker's Dracula, and this is the one with Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder in it. you know what? I could totally be thinking of Van Helsing. That's crazy if I am. I know that's Hugh Jackman, but I remember very specific scenes of the movie, but I can't remember what movie it is. So the next two, they go together, and they are, again, some of my favorites. Volume 1 more so than 2. Well, I guess this is just 1, isn't it? No, it's not even 1, it's just Kill Bill. Kill Bill Volume 2. So, these, I mean, if you haven't seen them, they're very good. I'm quite a fan of anything that Quentin Tarantino directs, even though, there's been stuff about him recently, about him kind of being, rude. I unfortunately do think he is a very good director. Because I know he can be a little controversial. Oh, my volume 2 is still in my Xbox. I don't know why that, my neighbor's dog, it's just like a constant, every few seconds it's got to bark. It's like that most days for a good majority of the day. I'm just like, it's the most robotic thing I've ever witnessed in my life. I'm like, I don't even know what you could be barking at for that consistency. It's just like bark, 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 bark for minutes. I'm like, what is happening? This next one is one of my favorite series of movies. I know a lot of people watch it and make fun of it and everything, and I think that's totally, valid. They are quite funny at times, and that just comes down to the time and everything that it was created, and some of the choices of the author herself. But I do quite enjoy the Twilight saga. Yeah, I love Robert Pattinson. So there's Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1, and Breaking Dawn Part 2. It's funny, I absolutely love Rob. I think his interviews are hilarious. I like a lot of the work he's done. I think he's very talented. But watched my other videos or anything, you might know that I love reading. From the time I could read, I was always reading. But yeah, I read the whole book before the movies ever came out, and I went to see, I'm pretty sure, every Hunger Games movie in theaters at the time. And I'm talking about like the main movies with Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put the insert back in, but I want to say too, this game was on Facebook. Did anybody else play this game? Because I played this game. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my goodness. That one's really loud for some reason. At least it's holding up. So we have the first Hunger Games, of course. I have Catching Fire as well. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever I first saw this, I was highly disappointed in who they got for Joanna and Finnick, just because I was younger and I had pictured them different in my head, and I was like, that's not Joanna and Finnick. But the older I've gotten, the more I've come to love who they got for the roles. I feel like they played them very well. So the next two are Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. I still have my original books actually, and it's funny, the Hunger Games, I have it's paperback because I don't think at the time they were printing it in hardcover, like when it first came out and I got it, and that thing was in my book bag all the time, so it is tore up. I think that's just a digital code on the back actually. But I loved the Hunger Games because I related to Katniss in the way that she did what she did to save her little sister, and I've always been protective of my younger sister. Even though I'm not very brave otherwise. I mean, I will stick up for myself, sure, but you mess with my little sister, it was on. And I don't know, there was just something about how she did what she did for everybody else. I felt like I related to that at the time. Of course, having all of those and the books, I bought the newer books. I had to buy this, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This one comes with 2 DVDs as well. I can't catch a break today. They're going buck wild on that road. The next ones that I have are all of Daniel Craig's James Bond movies. I this one, we have Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, which I absolutely love. I actually saw this in theaters with my dad, and Spectre. But yeah, I'm not really a huge like action kind of person, but I like the espionage spy kind of story. So I feel like James Bond, 007 movies, whatever you want to call them, are really like the only action that I'll watch. And then of course I had to buy his last movie as Bond, which is No Time to Die. Bam. I like Q in this series. I like M a lot. I mean, how could you not? She's fantastic. Again, I enjoy every Bond movie, I'd say, but there's just something about Daniel Craig that has me like hooked every time I'm watching it. This one is also quite old. I really am not great at remembering years of events, but I know I got this as an early teen. I wanted it for Christmas one year, and I didn't think I was gonna get it, because I remember at the time it was $80, and that was a lot. Best Buy was selling it, and my dad and stepmom wanted to make sure that I got it, and so one of my stepbrothers at the time, he wanted to do Black Friday shopping, so they asked him to grab this for me so I could have it for Christmas. Here, I'll open it up. So we got all the movies in here, and I have cherished this because it was one of my big gifts that year. Being a little kid, that was kind of always into fantasy and magic and reading how I did. I loved the books, and I just really wanted to have all the movies because I had seen a lot of them in theaters, and like here and there when they would come on TV at my dad's house, but I didn't really have the availability to watch them when I wanted, so I had not really remembered a lot of them. So this really changed that for me. I know nowadays J.K. Rowling is not somebody who a lot of people support, and you can agree or disagree with me, but I don't like to support people who in my eyes are hateful just for the sake of it. I mean, to me, if you're not not, hurting anybody, if you're just trying to live So I don't support anything that's hateful in that manner. Yeah. Sorry for the little rant there. But I do feel like it's important to say, you know, I'm not somebody that could be hateful. I just can't. Anyways, we got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I love Dobby. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince, and then Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. I can't even say I have a favorite movie from this series because I love it so much, and I'm so thrilled that Daniel Radcliffe and all of them seem pretty happy now. You know, that's not the case for a lot of child actors, so I'm glad that they are doing well. So yeah, this is something that I will treasure forever just because of what it was to me. So these, we're getting into the bigger series. So another one of my favorites is Pirates of the Caribbean. It's funny, actually. My nails are pirate themed. We got the treasure. We got the tentacle from the sea monster. These, I don't know if you can see, are treasure maps. X marks the spot there. Jolly Roger, skull and crossbones, and then my pinky. You can't really see it, but it's green. It's a translucent green, like a green glass bottle. And written on it is rum. So yeah, these, I think, yeah, they go in this order. So, we have The Curse of the Black Pearl. And again, my girl is here, Keira Knightley. I love her so much. And when I was really young, I loved Orlando Bloom. I had a crush on him since the first time I saw school, I just always was someone to seek out knowledge if it interested me. So like NASA and everything. And the female pirates is what really interested me because it's honestly very cutthroat, you know, and especially at the time, being a woman pirate was something unfathomable. So but speaking of Legolas and Lord of the Rings, I have the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions. So we have the Fellowship of the Ring here, and I really like these because of how much extras in them. So we have disc 1 and disc 2 of the movie, and then we have part 1 from book to vision, and there's 3 parts, or 2 parts, sorry. And then there's a behind the scenes. I love having all of the extra I don't know if you want to call it content available to watch, because seeing how they made everything and how everything was done is very quite interesting. And then we have the 2 towers. And again, this one's quite the same, and that has a part 1 and 2 for the movie. This unfortunately it's not broken, but it doesn't work to hold the disc in. So I had to figure out something for that, because I can put it in here and it'll click, but then it'll fall right back out. Yeah. So these are extended. Part 3 and part 4 from the Fellowship had part 1 and 2, so this is 3 and 4. And then it has a behind the scenes for the 2 towers. Okay. And then we have the Return of the King. these are extended editions as well. You can see that. So they are similar to the Lord of the Rings, where they have the movie, and then they have the extended, and I believe, yeah, it goes off of what's it? The Lord of the Rings movies, because it starts at part 7 and then goes into part 8. And I'm guessing that this one has the movie. Yep, 9 and 10. This is very nice. The last movie, of course, has the movie. That's just my receipt. Has the movie and part 11 and 12. Getting near the end. I have one more to show you, and it's a TV series. But you can see how much I enjoy fantasy, I feel like, from what I've shown you. So I put these back. So, speaking of The Hobbit, this is the last thing that I have to show you, and it is the BBC series Sherlock, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and this is the complete. So, we have season 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is season 3, right? Yep. I don't like how it's not written on the side like the other ones. And then we have the special, The Abominable Bride. So, when this first came out, I remember watching him and being hooked completely after the first episode, which is a study in pink. There's that one, The Blind Banker, and The Great Game. Put that one away. And then, whoops. Season 2 has a scandal in Belgravia, The Hounds of Baskerville, which is one of my favorite episodes. And then The Rhinepaw Fall. I feel like this series is very, very, very well written. I love the acting in it as well. It was one of those series that I just wanted more and more and more of. So this is season 3. I have The Empty Hearse, The Sign of 3, and then His Last Vow. And then there's bonus features on this desk as well. Six Thatchers, The Lying Detective, and then The Final Problem. Of course, here's this. I really enjoyed this. I know that there's a few people that didn't. I really didn't understand why. Maybe because it wasn't like part of like the seasons. It was like a one-off thing. I don't know. Benedict Cumberbatch, The Imitation Game. That is a very good movie. It's about Alan Turing, the inventor of the computer. Martin Freeman, The Hobbit. I wonder if that's any good. Okay. Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. I've been going for too long. My grip is getting a little bad. And by golly, yeah, I'm just about at an hour. So I hope that you enjoyed looking through my DVD and Blu-ray collection. And if you like any of these, if any of these were your favorite, let me know. Yeah, I will see you